Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Raman Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinama Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur.
Dandavat Pranama Vaisnava,
Dandavat
Champak Madhava, Dandavat Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So we'll begin as usual with Mangalacharan, page 1 of Sri Gauriya Giti Gucha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam. Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Leela Katale Sudaksham Adarya Madhurya Gunaishtayuktam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasham Namami Trigandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Pada Judataika Vrindi Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Ashtadya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragya Keshava Yutti Namine Bhakti Martya Charitran Swashritanam Chapanine Jiva Dukhe Sadarkayo Shri Nama Premadayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दैने ब्रह्मवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणि श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तद्वन्द्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदं गुञ्जायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौमः श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतोपन्नो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदं भोजो राधामदमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीललितदेव प्रेक्षानिभिः सेव्यमानः स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवतस्ततः कर्षन्मेरुस्वरैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रीयस्तु नः वृन्दायै तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहान् दामाग्निनिर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यामधुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनम् सर्वात्मस्वपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम्
So today, Jiva Bhavana Prabhu isn't going to be able to join us. Very unfortunate for us. So if anybody could maybe put the bhajans and kirtans up. I don't know, last time Lavangalata did. Anyway, if anyone can go, I think it's on Gaudiya apps, or also...
There's kksongs.org, so you can find it quickly there, or if you have any app on your phone, there are some that are very quick at delivering the bhajans. If you can post the bhajans along with what we're going to be singing, that would be greatly appreciated.
Lavangalata said okay, so thank you,
Thank
that would be
you,
wonderful.
thank you. I'm just looking. Samsara davan alavidhaloka. Okay, this time. Strange.
Probably in
In Sanskrit.
The weirdest.
Yes.
Radhe Radhe Honey.
Radhe Radhe, page 255 in this songbook, Sansara Davan Aladithaloka.
255.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we'll sing this one all together in an old tune which we learned when we were young. Samsara.
Okay, it's back.
Haribo? Oh, I have to turn this back on. That's odd. Hare Krishna.
It's not loading here.
That's plugged in. Haribo? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 5. This takes a minute for the internet to load back up.
Serious power cut.
That doesn't normally happen. We have a backup battery with an inverter. That shouldn't happen, but anyhow.
Devaki says only momentarily off. They
Okay?
can see and hear us,
Okay.
we just can't.
Okay. Samsara Vande Guru Shri कृत्वैव कृतिर्भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवनयनपारं माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्ना प्रतीक्षणाश्वादनरूपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जयो लक्ष्मीते सिद्धये यायानिभिरुक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्ष्यादन्तिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यन्तो देव किन्तु प्रभुर्यप्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् जगति कुतोऽपि ध्यायंस्तु वंस्तस्य यशस्त्रीसंज्ञम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीमद्गुरुर्वाष्णवेतरुजये रामे मुहूर्ते वर्तते प्रयत्ना यस्तेन वृन्दावनं साक्षात् सेवैव लभ्या जन्मशङ्करेण वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Kori Bena Doya.
Try to make sure if you have an idea to give them time.
K-A-B-E. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Kori Bena Doya.
Do you know the page?
Page 75.
If you weren't here in the very beginning, just a little announcement that Jiva Pavana Prabhu could not be with us tonight. So, Lavangalata Didi is posting the bhajans and the kirtans that we're singing so that we can all join in sweet kirtan together. So, just keep scrolling and looking for Lavangalata and you'll find that she's posting everything so that we can do that. Thank you so much for that, Seva Lavangalata.
Thank you.
I know it's a lot of pressure, so.
So, Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Kori Bena Doya. Hare Krishna. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Kori Bena Doya. Kabe Shri Chaitanya Kabe Yami Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata. Page 47. YANKALIRUPA 47. Srila Goswamipada ki jai. Nitai Gunamani Amar, Nitai Gunamani.
Page 61, Nitai Gunamani Amar. Also, Champak Lata just wrote that she's in the process of driving and rescuing a bunch of little homeless jiva cats, so she asked to send some prayers for them. Little jiva's hearing some kirtan right now.
Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu गौरांग तुम मरे दयानाचार्य हो.
Page 78 in the small songbook. Gauranga tumi more. Just in case you weren't here at the beginning, Jiva Pavana Prabhu couldn't join us this evening. He had something to do. So Lavanga Lata is endeavoring to take over this service tonight of adding the bhajans and kirtans so that we can all sing together, no matter where we are in the world. So please just look for Lavanga Lata and hopefully she'll be able to find all of the bhajans. Thank you, Lavanga.
What page was that again?
78.
Gaurango tumi more doyanachari Bandhu Sange Jaditava Ranga Parihas, page 124. 124. Bandhu Sange, B-A-N-D-H-U, Bandhu Sange, 124. Or find Lavanga Lata's most recent post, and there you will have the bhajan with you. One, two, four. बंधु संगे जनिता रंग परिहास बंधु संगे जनिता रंग So an interesting question was asked to Sudevi today. Who is your Ishtadev? And she posted a picture of Srimati Radhika. But although she is our everything, our Ishtadev is Radha Krishna Jugal. So it is Radha and Krishna together. Or another form of our Ishtadev is non-different. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahya Anya, Sri Sachinandan Gaura Hari. Or another form of our Ishtadev is the meeting and separation of Radha Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So really it's not just Krishna and it's not just Radhika, because Radhika can never be without Krishna. Her happiness is serving Krishna. So our Ishtadev, our worshipful God form of the Lord is Radha Krishna Jugalamilan. Radha Krishna Kanjulam. So now we're going to sing Radha Krishna Pranamor Jugala Kishor by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Page 1, 2, 3.
Hare Thank you so much, Namangalata, for taking that seva today. Radhe Radhe, Dandavad.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tadbhaktāya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And to all of our Rupanuga, Gauriya, Guru Varga. And to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas, Radhe Radhe. Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So, yesterday, a couple of questions were asked. And I wanted to just slightly address them. One of them was about, I have to find it, oh gosh, okay. Let's see, 119 comments. Oh, I won't be able to find it on this. I'll try to remember what I read. So one of them was about the necessity for greed, or lolyam, or lobe, transcendental greed, which is different than material greed. It's completely opposite to it, but it's required for the attainment of, or the awakening of, the desire for perfection, which is to actually serve Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Ras means to serve Krishna and give him transcendental enjoyment. So, the question came, how does one get the greed to develop the greed? And then of course, we mentioned the verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Bhakti Janmamul Hoy Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Punamukya Anga. The root qualification or the root cause of the awakening of Krishna Bhakti, Janmamul means the root of the birth. Mul means root. Krishna Bhakti Janmamul Hoy Sadhu Sangha, that is the association of the pure devotees of Krishna. So what gives greed then to associate with sadhus? Because if that is what awakens the greed for serving Krishna, then what will give us the greed for associating with sadhus? So actually there are so many potential answers for this. But according to Shastra, there is something called Sukriti. Sukriti means good merits. Now there's material Sukriti, means good things that one does in regards to this material world, which brings one upward toward the mode of goodness, and then even toward higher births within the heavenly planets, and things like that. This is Sukriti. Thousands and millions of lives of good deeds or good merits of that kind cannot give one the semblance, even a semblance of a qualification for bhakti. Janma koti shukritaya na labhyate. It's not possible. So all of those good things, it may be that if we are doing anything like that according to varnashram dharma, which we were mentioning yesterday, following that process, we may inadvertently or even intentionally do something like serve a sadhu, go to the mandir, chant the names of the Lord, take or honor, serve Mahaprasad, or anything like that which is within the realm of bhakti. And this will amass some sukriti within us, some spiritual merit, by which we will have some foundation for this natural and spontaneous attraction. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he asked the question, when Narad Muni was walking through, Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj is the god brother of our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, the disciple of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So he said, when Narad Muni was walking through the forest, there was one very simple hunter. His name was Mrigari. Mrigari literally means the enemy of the animals or of the deer. Mrig means deer or animals, and Adi means enemy. So Mrigari means the enemy of the animals. This person was so simple that he didn't just kill the animals for his food, but he liked to maim them, to hurt them, and watch them horribly suffer and slowly die. So he actually enjoyed this. So as Narada Muni was walking through this forest, the animals all moved in different directions, and Mrigari was not able to have the same kind of fun he was having before. So he became very angry, and he wanted to kill Narada Muni because his nature was so simple. As he was coming to kill Narada Muni said, "Stop!" And he stopped in his tracks. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj asked, why did he stop when ordered by Narada Muni? Because from previous lifetimes, he must have developed some sukriti enough to understand that when a sadhu gives an order, you follow. So immediately he froze and he stopped. And from that he amassed more sukriti, which enabled him to receive the instructions of Narada Muni. Narada Muni then showed him everything, what his future would be. So what would his future be? As a human or someone in human form, he was doing so many simple activities, harming and killing so many animals. So what he saw in the vision that Narada Muni gave him was something quite extreme. He saw himself taking birth as all of those animals and being killed and maimed and tortured and injured by other hunters. It means those animals were taking form as him and doing that to him as an animal. In other words, karma was taking its course. Like our Srila Gurudev said, if we could even see 10 lifetimes worth of karma that is due to us, we would die of sheer fright. So Krishna mercifully does not allow us to remember that much. He keeps us somewhat subdued within our current state of consciousness so that we might have some semblance of balance by which we can endeavor for perfection.
Also, if we knew we wouldn't be able to perform bhakti, we would just be in fear. Isn't it? We'd be praying out of fear.
Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if one is in a stage of great imbalance, then they cannot do yoga. So who is eating too much or too little, sleeping too much or too little, suffering too much or too little. These are disqualifications for yoga, and we practice bhakti yoga. So the animals generally are only absorbed in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, following their instinct and receiving the result of karmas from previous lifetimes. Because of this, they're not able to contemplate or comprehend subjects of Krishna Bhakti. Unless, of course, Mahaprabhu is dancing and chanting through the Jharikanda forest and he can awaken the soul in everyone, but that's a different story. And then, those souls which are in the forms of demigods, because those demigods are enjoying too much their high birth, their high education, their bodily beauty, and their wealth. It's too much. So because of being imbalanced in that way, they're also not able to endeavor on the path of pure bhakti or pure devotion. So either being in one state of extreme suffering or in extreme happiness, this does not afford one the opportunity or the qualification for bhakti. Kunti Devi says this in Srimad Bhagavatam as she's praying to Krishna. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta and Shri. Because of these things, because of my high birth and my education and my bodily beauty and my wealth, excessive wealth, I am disqualified. So please send some difficulties to me again and again so that we can remember you, because there needs to be some kind of balance. So coming back to the point, Narada Muni, he showed Mrigadi his future. And then Mrigadi became completely astonished. He did not want that, so he took shelter of Narada Muni, begged him for his mercy, seeing what would become of him, understanding what would become of him. And Narada Muni, he's a transcendental personality. In one moment, he gave this Mrigadi Divyam Jnanam. He gave him Harinam Diksha and ordered him, you break your bow. It happened the other way around. First he told him, break your bow and no longer commit these kinds of simple activities. He said, how will I survive? How will I eat? How will I be able to maintain my life? Narada Muni said, Krishna will arrange everything. This is the definition of Shraddha. That if one simply takes to the path of Bhakti Yoga, that Krishna will take care of everything. There's nothing more to do, nothing to worry about. Shraddha Shabde, Vishwas Kohe, Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Koile, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. All obligations are automatically taken care of. Krishna promises, I will carry what you lack, I preserve what you have. So Narada Muni told this to him, break your bow, and then he gave him initiation, and he told him, you should just sit in this one place and take shelter of Sri Harinam Prabhu. So Mrigadi followed the instructions of Narada Muni because he had amassed enough sukriti in him previously, from previous lifetimes, to be able to receive that. What's an example of sukriti? Also, Valmiki in his previous lifetimes. We have heard this from our Gurudev and other Vaishnavas. I forgot his name, Ratna Kar or something. So this Valmiki, in his previous life was like, maybe not his previous life, but previously was like Mrigadi. Very simple person, doing all kinds of simple activities. And he was murdering and stealing and killing and doing so many things. And Narada Muni also came to him. And Narada Muni told him, you should chant the name of Ram. And when he tried to chant the name of Ram, he could not do it. He said, I can't. He was so simple, that sound vibration could not come out of his mouth. So Narada Muni suggested to him, can you chant Mara, which means to kill? And he said, of course, I do it all the time. He said, then you should chant this again and again, Mara. So Valmiki, over time, following the instruction of Narada, he had that much sukriti to be able to follow that instruction. But by following that instruction, his sukriti or spiritual merit continued to increase more and more and more. He was saying Mara, 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 Mara. Gradually, by trick, he began chanting the name of Ram. Mara, 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 Mara. Like this. And by that, gradually he was purified until his heart was completely purified and he was able to witness all of the transcendental pastimes of Sri Ram in his heart. Even before Ram manifested in this world and performed his pastimes, Valmiki knew everything in advance because he became Tattva Darshi, a seer, a knower of the truth, who is Bhagavan. So he saw all the pastimes of Ram and he was able to write Ramayana. So by this Sukriti, then one is able to move forward. There are different kinds of Sukriti or spiritual merits. There's the Gyata Sukriti, which means doing activities which are within knowledge, intentionally. Yes, this will be favorable for me to develop Sukriti or spiritual merits by which I will be able to absorb and understand what is favorable for bhakti and really apply it in my life. What are examples of that? Tulsi Parikrama, Vrindavan Parikrama, following Ekadashi. If you go outside right now, this entire month of Purushottam, this is Krishna's month. So many people in India think it's Malmas, an impure time, and they won't do anything related to bhakti during this time. But the devotees understand that this is Krishna's month. So if you go out onto the Parikrama Marg, any time of the day or night, there are hundreds and thousands of pilgrims. So many of them, more than I've ever seen, doing Dandavat Parikrama. Means up and down in the same place, going to the next, thousands and thousands. Doing Parikrama.
Also at Govardhan.
And also at Govardhan, even more. The hundreds and thousands of pilgrims. Because they know this will build their Sukriti, their spiritual merits. There's so many activities, all of the activities of bhakti, doing these things knowingly, with intention. This can bring bhakti sukriti, spiritual merits. So this is called Gyata Sukriti. Serving sadhus with intent, chanting Harinam, bathing in Jamuna, going to all of the holy places, hearing Harikatha, doing all activities of bhakti with intention. And then there's something called Agyata Sukriti. Agyata Sukriti means unknowing. I didn't know. What's an example of that? The Brahmanas. They didn't know that their wives were using all of their energy in the service of Krishna. And because of that, their energy means all of their collection was utilized in the service of Krishna. And because of that, the Brahmins' hearts gradually changed. Then they began to appreciate and weep that their wives received such a great opportunity to serve Krishna. What is the use of all of our yagyas, our tapasya, our chanting of mantras and austerities and everything? When the opportunity came, we failed to serve Krishna, but you served Krishna. So they amassed Sukriti unknowingly by the endeavor of their wives to serve Krishna. So this is a very clear message to all of you dharma patnis out there. Means the wives who keep their husbands in line, utilize your husband's earnings in the service of Krishna, in the service of Vaishnavas, and vice versa. Means we should encourage each other to serve Hari, Guru and Vaishnava, and it will increase our bhakti sukriti. So many different forms of agyata sukriti. Some little insect, like the ants, they will come into our garbage and take something. Maybe there's Mahaprasad remnant there, which is going to go out to the cows. These ants are making a line to come in and take that. But it has been offered to Thakurji, to Guru Parampara, and they're just coming to eat something. They don't understand. Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh, one of the most powerful substances, and they're just going to take it. Some Sukriti is coming, whether they realize it or not. The animals that are walking around, they're not thinking, this is Mahaprasad. I don't know, maybe they are. You know, at Jamuna Arti, just down the road, probably 200 meters, that's 500-600 feet, down the road that way, every evening when they start doing the Arti for Jamuna, all of these dogs come and sit in front of the temple. And they can see in, and while they're ringing the bells and chanting their mantras and doing their kirtan, all of these dogs are like, oh, like, right, they just come at that time. They all assemble there and they start.
Only that temple.
Only that one. Just across on the Parikrama Marg next to Jamuna. I'd say 10, 12 dogs all come and they just start singing during the arti. It's quite cute to see. Anyhow, so Agyata Sukriti. This is also essential. We don't know. Like maybe someone will feel inspired and they give a donation, and then someone gives that donation to Gurudev. One of our family members, their parent, was quite elderly. And she was, very nice lady, and she appreciated us. She liked that we were people of God and we were doing, preaching work, and we were really nice to her. And so she just felt within her heart to give us a donation. She was 80-something years old. So she gave me $50 and Sudevi $50. And Sudevi's like, this is going directly into the hands of Srila Gurudev for her benefit. Just like that. So we kept it, we traveled with it. When we saw Srila Gurudev 6 months later, we directly handed that to him. And we told him her name. And after maybe a year, she departed from this world. She didn't know. She had an urge in her heart to give a donation for people who do God's work. And we're handing that off, her energy, to that person who is actually truly serving God, serving the Lord. So she's amassing sukriti unknowingly, spiritual merit. Prahlad told Hiranyakashipu, I'm trying to remember the verse. Someone who's simply engaged in chewing the chew. This is Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova. Matirna Krishne. Someone who's simply engaged in chewing on that thing which has previously been chewed before. Meaning all of the stuff that we've done in this material world. Again and again and again and again. For trillions and trillions of lifetimes. Someone who's simply engaged in doing that, they will not be able to understand subjects of Krishna consciousness. Matir na Krishne Paratasvatova. Because they're simply engaged in doing the same thing they've done before. There is a quote going around, and so I will re-quote it. I don't even know if it's from that source, but these days you can believe whatever you want because someone posts it. So Einstein said, the definition of insanity is that you do the same thing again and again and again, the same way, and expect a different result. I don't know if he said that, but that's what it said. So, in the same way, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Prahlad Maharaj actually said that. You're doing the same thing again and again in this way. If you're simply chewing on that thing you've already chewed, how are you going to be able to understand subjects of Krishna Bhakti? So then he said, Bina Mahat Padar Jobhishekam Naishamatis Urukramangrim. Unless one bathes themselves in the dust of the feet of the pure devotees of the Lord, they will not be able to comprehend these subject matters. So, what inspires one to do this? This is the question. This is the, you can call it causeless mercy of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Rupa Goswami, "E Rupe, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach." Those jivas who are wandering throughout millions and millions of universes and taking so many different forms according to their karma. Any jiva who is especially blessed or favored by the Lord. Kon Bhagyavan Jeev, who is fortunate, extremely fortunate. They receive the mercy of Krishna in the form of Sri Guru, Guru Krishna, who awakens within them the desire to serve Krishna, or the vritti, the tendency to serve Krishna, known as Krishna Seva Vasanam. So Bhakti Lata Bij, or the seed of Bhakti, is the association with the pure devotees of the Lord, and this is somehow manifest to us by causeless mercy. Why is it that some are chosen and some aren't? I don't know. I cannot say why this one has been chosen now to awaken to Seva and the other 10 trillion have not yet. But every single jiva's intrinsic nature is to love and serve Krishna. So there must be a time when their time will come. And we are told to also share that and to give that opportunity to others. So as much as we do, following the order of Guru and Gauranga, then we are also somehow giving that opportunity to those jivas, especially by the loud chanting of the holy names of the Lord, especially Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So many different ways by which one can develop that. One is to remain in the association. Try to be in association with those who are fired up. Because if we're not in the association of those who are fired up for Krishna, technically if one is not fired up for Krishna, they're either really boring or they're fired up for Maya. So they're either dull. So dull would be like, just jug, don't matter. Or they're fired up for the material energy. If you associate with those who are fired up for mundane things, you will also develop attraction for mundane things. If you associate with those who are dull, you can become dull. And if you associate with those who are fired up for Krishna, then you will become fired up for Krishna. So this can also be a choice. Based on experience, we have seen devotion, we have seen devotees, we have seen those who are fired up. Let me make a choice or an endeavor. And we can understand from one sense this is also due to Sukriti, but anyhow, we can make a conscious endeavor with intention that I will try to apply as much of my energy to do those things in my life that are favorable for the development of bhakti. Especially associating with Vaisnavas, with Sri Guru, Sri Harinam Prabhu. Doing those things that are favorable. Then that will amass bhakti sukriti within my heart. I'm trying to remember that verse. I can't remember it at the moment. Oh, Madhumangal's there. Maybe you can post the verse about sukriti. If anyone names their child Ryan, they will get sukriti because anytime the child asks for something and the parents say, "No, Ryan, you can't have that." It sounds like Narayan.
Who said that?
Madhu, especially if they're from the Midwest with the dialect, they'll say, "Nah, Ryan, don't do that."
Anyone names their kid Harry.
Yes, or if you name your kid, in America they say Harry. Unfortunately, Americans aren't getting the same sukriti as the ones in England who actually say Hari. So there's so many different ways. There's a devotee in Oregon, his name is Pushpadanta. He named his shop, he sells second-hand cars, used cars, so he named his shop Auto Rama. And a lot of shops were named Rama. And so everyone calls it Autorama, Autorama. Every time they go there, every time they talk about it, every time they drive by, they see it, so some sukriti comes. And once, I was in the car with a devotee. I can't remember his name now. He's now a sannyasi. His name used to be Govind. Something Madhava Maharaj. And very nice, sweet devotee. I think he's a disciple of Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. So we were in the car together many, many years ago, and we pulled up behind a vehicle at the red light, and he looked at the bottom. He's from India, right? And he was pretty fresh out of India at that time, maybe only 6 months to maximum 1 year. We pulled up behind a Dodge Ram truck. Dodge Ram. And he got so excited, his eyes opened wide and he was pointing, "Don't get on! Don't get on!" Like this. "Don't get on." And I was like, "What's that mean?" He said, "I don't know, but it says Ram." He was so excited. And we all had CD-ROMs for how many years? Now we don't have CD-ROMs anymore, but anyhow, it was there. So Sukriti can be amassed through these processes. Even in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, the nickname of Mother Shachi, the mother of Sri Shachi Nandan Gaurahari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, her nickname is Oi. And it says there, anyone who just says that will be freed from samsara just by saying her nickname. And I was thinking, who says Oi? Well, especially those in Fiji, Australia, New Zealand, a lot. South Africa.
Jewish Oive.
Oive, like that. So much Sukriti can come in so many ways. But we also have received the opportunity from our gurus, from our sadhus and shastra, to amass the most amount of sukriti in the shortest amount of time. And that is through Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Sadhu Sangha, hearing the Harikatha from the lips of the pure devotees. We've been given that medium. And also even doing things like Govardhan Parikrama, but with intention for bhakti. So intention is also everything. Chanting Hare Krishna for serving Krishna. Serving the pure devotees for developing bhakti. Doing Govardhan Parikrama or serving Thakurji for developing devotion for Krishna. This helps us to amass bhakti sukriti. And the more bhakti sukriti one has within them, it's like your bank account has developed, spiritual bank account. Then the more you will be able to comprehend spiritual subject matter.
Also, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, in one lecture called Sadhana, it's in our Harmonist magazine, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur explains how when we do regulated sadhana, and we go to arti, we do Tulsi Parikrama, we do all of the limbs like Srila Prabhupada taught us to do. He had us getting up for Mangalarti, greeting of the deities, hearing and chanting. All of these are building up our bhakti sukriti. And then he explains that how will we ever lose attraction to Maya? By getting this kind of bhakti sukriti through the limbs of bhakti. So when we're told so many times about regulated practice, this is very, very important for us to accumulate this sukriti. So going to the artis of Thakurji, seeing the deities, chanting the holy names, reading and holding Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of these things on a daily basis start to become attractive to us. And the more we continue to do our sadhana, the more Maya will become less prominent in our life. And as our bhakti sukriti is increasing, then desire comes. I need sadhu sangha. I need help. Then prayer begins in the heart. And then, spontaneously and miraculously, Sri Guru appears. This is why Srila Prabhupada called it the science of Krishna consciousness.
Jai. Thank you. And Devaki, she said, we once had a shop many years ago called Haribo's. There's also that candy. I think it's a Japanese company called Haribo, without the L at the end, but Bo just means chant. So the Hari is there. Just be careful, most of it has gelatin in it. But anyhow, still, not only us, everyone sees it, and they say Haribo. So this is also some kind of way to develop sukriti. For those who are bhaktas, who are endeavoring on the path of devotion, we should intelligently apply gyata sukriti, means developing or amassing sukriti with intention, so that when any sadhu comes, we should be able to recognize them. Because now we might not know. So many people ask, where do I go, which way? And someone says, go here, and they're like, I don't know. We don't know why. Why don't we know? We cannot see. We don't have the vision to see because we are lacking in spiritual strength, chidbal, which is from all of our bhakti sukriti. So as that bhakti sukriti is amassed, we will be able to recognize, we will be able to enter or dive deeply into the process of bhajan. We will be able to relinquish anarthas. All of the process will become more tangible, more tasteful, more exciting as this is building and amassing. So for us who have received transcendental knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, the association of pure devotees, having understood something about the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what Rupa Goswami came to give, some speciality about Mahamantra as the supreme mantra over all others, that our Ishtadev is Radha Krishna Jugal, Milan, transcendental meeting of Radha and Krishna. their love and affection. Our goal is Krishna Prem, is Radha Krishna's love and affection. Having understood so much of this, then when we move toward developing Sukriti, we should apply that. How can I increase this to such an extent that automatically everything will start to flow? And I'm going to give a mundane example, but you might understand it. Some people own only one stock of Amazon. So they're going to have whatever it's worth. Some people own 10,000 stocks of Amazon. So when it goes up $10, this person makes $10 and this person makes 10 times 10,000. That's 100,000. So the more you have, the more it increases. This is just how money works in this world. One very wealthy person once told us that. They said to us, I don't care what anyone tells you, it's money that makes money. And it was interesting. It is also Sukriti which makes Sukriti. So how to increase the transcendental or Bhakti Sukriti? This is part of our process in Bhakti. Bhajana Kriya, doing those activities, our sadhan activities, which are favorable for Bhakti, and also getting rid of everything which is unfavorable, trying to sweep that out. So that is anartha nivritti. By doing all of the activities of bhajan as instructed by Sri Guru, under the guidance of Guru Vaisnavas, then we should be able to move more and more and more rapidly. So it should be increasing. The speed and the quality should be increasing. This is the testament to our progress in bhakti. It should not be decreasing. Srimad Bhagavatam tells us, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayara Hoitukam. It's a barometer for how we're progressing in bhakti. If we're doing bhakti yoga for Krishna, then what should be the natural result? Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam. Means natural transcendental knowledge will begin to manifest in our hearts, and also natural relinquishment of all mundane things and natural attachment to Krishna will start to develop more rapidly. So all of these things will be taking place naturally as one is actually following the process of bhakti as described by Guru Vaishnava, Bhagavan and Shastra. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita. If we're following the process, this science properly, we will see the results. And if we're not seeing the results like we think we should be, then our Gurudev said we should check ourselves and see where is the, he would say, loop and a hole. But there's some kind of hole in the pot or in the boat that, hey, something's not working right. Something is messed up in our machine. We have not followed proper procedure. We tried to take some shortcut. We missed something important. There's something that got stuck in there and we need to clean it, to fix it. That is the whole meaning of cleaning the Gundicha temple. To clean out all of that, sweeping 2-3 times, getting rid of the tar, the muck, all of those stones, the sand, the dust, the pebbles, and cleaning it again and again and again till it becomes completely pure, completely cool, completely clean and fresh, so that Krishna will want to come and reside there. It means my heart should become like Vrindavan. So beautiful, so sweet, so clean, soft, fragrant, smooth, and wonderful that Krishna will come, will want to come and reside there, rest there, play there. Tamar hridaya sada govinda vishram govinda kohina mama vaishnava panam. Within the hearts of the pure devotees, Krishna is always residing because of this. They have no other desire. Their hearts are completely clean. There is nothing else except for love, affection, and purity. The desire to serve and please Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. This is present within their heart. Therefore, Krishna says, my devotees, they are my life and soul. So now we will continue going beyond Vaikuntha. I hope I've been able to answer your question about Sukriti. We should understand that even if we need to, if the desire comes to pick up our japamala, this is by mercy. So somehow we received something that has encouraged us to do something favorable for bhakti. This is also some kind of Sukriti. But we shouldn't go, oh well, I'm not feeling it today, so I guess the Sukriti hasn't come, so give it. Two things are necessary, our endeavor and the mercy. Both things are there. And where our endeavor meets with that mercy, that is our place, our realm of hope and effect, our hope. Yes, my endeavor meets with mercy. Then so much comes to us. But we need to reach our hands out, right? Guru lowers a rope down the well and says, put it around you, I'll pull you out. We have to do something. We have to pull it around us and tie it in such a way that we won't fall out. Hold on and don't let go. So there's some requirement on our part. And there's also the requirement on their part. Theirs is to save us, and ours is to allow ourselves to be saved. To allow ourselves to be saved. Means I will accept you saving me. But if they're throwing a rope down, you're rejecting it, you keep throwing it away, what can they do? Put it around you. I will save you from that burning well. No. Then what can they do? Gurudeva said it so many times. Then what can I do? They want to do it. What can I do? If you want to, drink poison. They can only cry and beg you not to. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says in this Upakyan Upadesh, there's one story, that there's a kid flying his kite on a roof. An Indian roof is kind of flat. And if you're flying a kite and you're kind of backing up trying to catch the wind for your kite, he said there was one person walking down the street and he sees the kid backing up very close to the edge of the roof and he starts screaming, be careful, you're going to fall. And the kid is like, hey, I'm having fun flying my kite, who are you to say anything to me? And then that kid's parents are like, how dare you talk to my kid like that? Who do you think you are? It's my kid, you don't have any right to say anything. And he's like, I was just warning him, be careful, he's going to back off the roof and he will get hurt or die. So if we ourselves and those we surround ourselves with are unwilling to accept that mercy and we support each other's nonsense, then how will we be able to receive the mercy of Guru when he's trying to give it to us? He's warning us, be careful about the greatest danger. What is the greatest danger? Re-entering into samsara for God knows how long. Repetition of birth, disease, old age, and death, and millions of species of life. Srila Prabhupada said, this is the greatest danger. So they try to give us something. They try to give us Krishna. They try to give us Sukriti. Anything. Take anything. Please. Nityananda Prabhu is going from door to door with straw in his teeth, doing Dandavat Pranam, begging each person, please be merciful to me. Take what I want to give you. Just once, loudly call out the name of my Prabhu, Gaura Hari. Amare Kini Aloho Bolo Gaura Hari.
I have a question.
Say Gaura Hari.
Gaura Hari!
Gaura Hari Bol.
So my question is, sometimes, okay. Krishna says that wherever you leave off on this path, you will pick up in your next life. You will continue on the process of bhakti. But then we hear our acharyas telling us if we don't take this life seriously, if we're not careful, then we can end up entering again into even animal species. Like sometimes we hear, we've heard our acharyas say that the dogs born in Vrindavan or previous Brahmin pandas maybe, and they're getting the kicking of the Brajabasis for their cheating or for this or for that. Not even Brahmins, whatever, but
Sahajas.
Whatever it may be. So they've had to take a birth in an animal species. So how does that go along with what Krishna says? I mean, So, because some devotees actually say, I'm okay. I have this human form now. I've chanted Hare Krishna. I've had Sri Guru in my life. I mean, I've come pretty far. So my nonsense is like, not such a big deal, because I'll again have a human form and be able to at least pick up chanting Hare Krishna.
Okay, good question. Thank you for that. This is quite essential. The first thing which came to mind and heart when Sudevi was asking that question, we should look at ourselves now. At certain times in our lives, we have been so inspired. We thought we could attain perfection maybe very quickly. So fired up. And then at other times, completely disappointed, even depressed, feeling like the wind is knocked out of my sails. I'm not doing anything. I have failed. I'm a failure. I'm useless. Feelings like that. And completely absorbed in the material energy, trying to enjoy or extract or exploit the material energy for our own selfish sense gratification. Even after having come to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, even after having received Harinam and Diksha, and after learning so many beautiful, transcendental subject matters, still, we can just check our own pulses, feel our own hearts and see, yeah, that's happened to me many times. Death does not change that factor. What doesn't change, unless there's severe Vaishnava aparad, is whatever bhakti sukriti we have amassed. So even if we are doing all kinds of mundane activities, we've actually developed something. If we stop those mundane activities and take shelter of Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna, we can continue from where we left off. But if we look at ourselves right now, maybe not right now we're engaged in discussing subject matters of Krishna Bhakti and doing kirtan and everything, at least for a couple hours a day. Something regulated, okay, that's great. But what am I doing in my normal daily life? What is my regular contemplation? Am I really taking my Harinam seriously? Am I diving deep into my Harinam, into the activities of Bhakti that my Gurudev has given me? Am I really endeavoring on the path of bhajan for perfection? Am I trying to develop bhakti, bhav and prem? Am I really making that strong endeavor? We can check ourselves and see. Then we can know, oh, well, if I'm this way and then death comes, Krishna says you will continue where you left off. So, where am I? That's the question. Just because I might have received so much at a certain point, it doesn't mean that suddenly from that point I'm going to run forward. I can also go back, like I have in this lifetime many times. And I can go downhill. So when Krishna says even a little bit of progress on the path can save one from the greatest danger. Can. It's what we do with that opportunity. It's not that we cannot enter back into samsara. We can easily re-enter back into samsara. We have re-entered back into samsara, even after so much progress. So we can look at it from a practical perspective. Yes, we have received so much. What am I doing with that opportunity? Am I really making that opportunity appreciate? Or am I putting it on the back burner or throwing it in a closet somewhere in a suitcase and doing everything else? Am I doing those activities which will guarantee me another birth in this material world, maybe in other species of life? We can see it ourselves. We know what Shastra says, what Guru says, what Vaishnavas say, what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. We know. What am I doing with my life? Is this going to bring me into to perfection, or is this going to bring me into the material world? So yes, a little bit of progress, even a little bit of progress can save one from the greatest danger. And even if we ended up taking birth in different forms of life, still that Bhakti Sukriti is there, and from that platform something can manifest. But there is no guarantee that if we have received so much transcendental knowledge, so much mercy from pure Vaishnavas, and we neglect that, there's no guarantee that we're going to take another human birth. Even Srila Gurudev Maharaj said, if you don't follow the instructions of your guru, why does your guru have to maintain his allegiance to you? If there's, let's say, a child who's being raised by their parent, and the parent is giving them everything. They're giving them food, they're giving them shelter, they're giving them money, education, love, affection, this and that, and everything else. And then that child one day just says, you know what? I didn't ask to be born. Go to hell. I don't want anything to do with you, and walks out. It'll break your heart, but you no longer have an obligation to maintain your support of that kind of ungratefulness. It's just natural. Why does Guru have to expend so much when you're just throwing it away? So Srila Gurudev Maharaj, he said, if someone is just, he said, you cannot understand or estimate the shock, the pain that comes in the heart of Guru when they have given so much and that disciple just rejects it. He said, you cannot comprehend how painful that is for the heart of Guru. Because their heart is made of the condensed form of mercy and compassion of Krishna. More than millions of mothers. So any mother out there or father out there who has children or pets, imagine how much affection you have and then multiply that by 1,000,000 or millions. Then we could understand or comprehend that shock that comes to them. And of course they want to give the best thing. But he said that why should he maintain that obligation when you have rejected it and thrown it away? Still, in Tattva, we understand that Guru can never neglect, Paramatma never neglects, but externally, Guru can say, I no longer have anything to do with them. They will have to taste the result of their own karma, and that is to teach them the lessons which they need to learn so that they will develop humility and really experience the anguish of this material world to such a point where they will come back completely humbled and completely submissive, and then accept the mercy and the nectar that Sri Guru wants to give them. I know it's a heavy subject, but... Oh, really? Devaki says, once again, we're speaking about what we are about to read. So then, without further ado, we've got a few minutes before entering into this beautiful treasure. Going Beyond Vaikuntha, this is the commentary, one of the commentaries of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, on the beautiful heart's manifestation of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, known as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. We will pray in the dust of their lotus feet in the words of Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatner, Apayanan Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Vidir Yapada Duk Duki Sanatanasvam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, or many of those particles, which are present within these pages, manifest themselves within our hearts. These subjects are quite essential for us as practitioners or sadhaks on the path of bhakti, because it's important to know what is favorable and what is unfavorable. In every verse talking about bhakti, even anyabhilashita shunyam, the first two lines are telling us what is not pure bhakti, and only the third line is telling us what is pure bhakti. In the verses describing surrender, the first one says accepting what is favorable, the second thing says rejecting what is unfavorable. In Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita, 11 verses which are Upadesh Amrita, the nectar of instruction. The second verse tells us all of these things which are unfavorable for bhakti and what are destructive for bhakti. And the third verse tells us what is favorable for bhakti. So it's important to have this balanced understanding Otherwise, we might go for all the sweet things but not realize what is unfavorable, and then we will wonder why we're not making proper progress. It's because we're not also endeavoring to give up or keep a distance from those things which are going to pull us back or pull us down, bring us back into samsara. So it's essential to know both sides. So, Gurudev was speaking about truthfulness, mundane truthfulness, the truths of this world. Most of the worldly truths are bound also to untruth, because they're not absolute truth, they're not eternal truth. And so that truth has a temporary nature, in the same way that Varnashram also has a temporary nature, in terms of that Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is according to the body, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas is according to the body. It is not actually the nature of the soul. So that it's a temporary truth of this world. Unless you are feeding bhakti in there, it doesn't have a soul. Bhakti is the soul. Bhakti gives it its position. I think it was Jiva Pavana Prabhu yesterday. He was mentioning that all of the different good things that we do in this world, if it doesn't have Krishna at its center, then it's like bunches of zeros. But when you put Krishna at the center, or in the beginning, then it's like adding the 1 in front of all of the zeros. So you can have 100 zeros, and if you put a 1 in front of that, then you've got, I don't know what that is, a Google? Something like that. 1 with 100 zeros, it gives it so much value. So bhakti, on top of any of this other platform, that's what gives it value. Otherwise, all of the truths of this world are temporary and mundane. And Srimad Bhagavatam actually distinguishes reality, or the supreme truth, parasatya, satyam param, Krishna, and bhakti, from all of the illusory, temporary truths of this world, including the dharmas of this world. That's why the second verse of Bhagavatam says, dharma projit kaitavatra paramo. It completely rejects all kinds of dharma, which doesn't bring you, means all of the good activities of this world, all of the things that one is supposed to do of this world, which are not directly related to pure devotion. Bhagavatam rejects it from the beginning. Dharma projita kaitava, kaitava dharma. What are kaitava dharmas? These are cheating religion. All different kinds of things which are just cheating. Things which don't bring us bhakti sukriti. We can think of 1,000 different things that could be. So many different things. You know, like worshipping your car in the morning before you go for a drive. I don't know. I've seen that. But there's so many different kinds of worldly dharmas, which, you know, are things that you're supposed to do in this world, good things, but they're not necessarily related to bhakti or Krishna bhakti. So Bhagavatam cuts it from the beginning. No. We're distinguishing reality, the truth, from all of the illusions of this world. We're removing all kinds of dharmas which are cheating. Why? Because they're not awakening the soul to its eternal nature of loving service to Krishna. So right from the beginning, we're telling you this. Bhagavatam will be relished by those who are thoroughly honest, those who are rasik, full of ras, and those who are bhavuk, full of all transcendental moods, divine sentiments. Bhagavatam is relished by those persons who are thoroughly honest. What is that kind of honesty? It means they acknowledge and understand that Krishna and Krishna bhakti, this is truth. And everything else, all of these relative temporary material truths, they're not so important. Gurudev used that word for me when I approached him for, I told him, marriage is a very important institution. And he snapped back at me. He said, no, not important. And I was like, he said, your attachment to Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas, Hari Nam Prabhu, your Diksha mantras, this is important. He said, that will divide your bhakti in two. There, right there. He was cutting my Kaitava Dharma. I was thinking this is essential and this is important. And he was like, no, it's not. So Bhagavatam cuts it also from the beginning and establishes loving devotion to Krishna, Bhagavat Dharma, as the highest truth. So, if someone in an immature stage left his vow of celibacy, brahmacharya, for some reason did not reach perfection, then there's no loss for him. Why? Because in his next birth, he will begin again from the point of his attainment and then go on to success. It is just as when we study in a school, pass the courses, and then go to another school and study further. So if you move from one school to the next school, you still have your transcripts, and then you continue where you left off. If anyone takes up bhajan, offering puja to the deity, and chanting the holy name, then all connections with the world and varnashram are broken. This is the mercy of the path of bhakti. As Kapila Dev said, by following the process of bhakti, devotional service, then all other things, all other anarthas and inebrities, all other material conceptions, the material subtle body, also mind, intelligence, and ego, is dissolved in the same way that food is digested or dissolved within the acids of your stomach by the process of bhakti yoga. So all connections with the world and varna ashram are broken. This is called kriyalopa, absence of activity. Ordinarily, those who have left their worldly duties would have to appoint millions of great sages to perform all of the ceremonies necessary for atonement in order to rectify their mistake. If one leaves their worldly duties, why is it considered such a terrible thing? Because we owe so much. We have so many debts to the demigods, to our parents, to our ancestors, the forefathers. So many debts, whether we realize it or not. And if we give up our worldly duties to atone for the sin of giving up our worldly duties, here Gurudev is saying we will have to employ millions of great sages to perform all of the ceremonies necessary for atonement in order to rectify our mistake. But those who have entered into bhajan will not have to undergo any atonement. Yesterday we mentioned, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, near the very end, Sarva dharman parityajya, give it all up, all of the different dharmas. Mam ekam sharanam vraja, surrenders solely, one-pointed to me, mam ekam, only me. Aham tvang sarva papebhyo moksha, I will free you from all of the sinful reactions that come from doing that. Ma shuchaha, you have my word. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. So any man who leaves his worldly duties for selfish motives has 5 debts upon him. To the demigods, to the sages, to the forefathers, to the family members, and to all other living entities. We owe a lot. Also karmically. How much debt do we have karmically? Who do we owe what to? That's why we've been taking birth again and again and again and again. Not just for one, but for all of the thousands and millions that we've connected with that we owe this or that to for some reason or other. So many unlimited debts of this world. What is the duty of a son? How will he fulfill his debt to his forefathers? Just as his father raised him and made him qualified to live in the world, then he must also marry, have offspring, and make them qualified to live in the world. Then his debt to his forefathers is completed. In other words, how do you pay your debt to your family, your forefathers? By continuing the lineage. Bringing up good children, continuing that lineage. This is the responsibility, a worldly responsibility. But without marrying, it can't be done. It's interesting, we were discussing this just yesterday, this whole point in what Gurudev told us, but he wanted to engage us in the activities of bhakti. And because we're following the order of Sri Guru, then we can understand that that debt, which we would have had to pay, is no longer a debt, because we're following the order of Guru for serving in the way that we're serving Krishna, serving Guru. And by that, Krishna will be able to accept the seva, hopefully, by the mercy of Gurudev. What is the debt of a girl? How will a girl fulfill her debt? By serving just as her mother did. Her mother brought her up and looked after her. And like that, she will serve her husband, give birth to children, raise them to maturity, and then she will be free from her debt. The debt to the demigods is like this also, as are all other debts. As long as one's wife has not said, "Go then, go and do bhajan," one cannot leave household life to take up bhajan. Interesting. It was over a period of 3 years. Gurudev, when he would see us, he would ask me, "You don't want children?" And I was like, "No." He said, The next year, "So really, you don't want children?" I was like, "No." The third year, you don't want to have children?" I said, "No." He said, "How is your wife?" I said, "Even more than me, she doesn't want to have." He said, "Call her here immediately." So I called her on the phone. She came running down. We went into Gurudev's room together, and then Gurudev spoke with us for quite a long time. He gave us basically a life outline, told us what to do, and he gave us all of the warnings and everything else. He told us what he wanted us to do. He gave us instruction, he gave us warnings, he even gave a little threat that I told yesterday, and then he engaged us in the seva that we're doing now. But he checked first. He said, as long as one's wife has not said, go now, go and do bhajan, one cannot leave household life to take up bhajan. Yet, in a very discreet way, Mahaprabhu disregarded the injunctions of the scriptures and left home. He left behind his elderly mother, made no arrangements for her needs, and giving up all responsibilities, he left. He disregarded the injunctions of the scriptures, but for what? For the service of Govinda. So when someone leaves in this way, it is called kriya lopa. So if one is giving up their worldly duties, but for the service and pleasure of Krishna, they're giving up their responsibilities for paying their debts, but really for the service of Guru, Gauranga, Radha and Krishna, and especially under guidance, then that debt is no longer a debt. Krishna himself will take care of all of that responsibility. And we have even seen some semblance of that practically in our lives, because Gurudev gave such a strong order. This Gurudev had his finger in Sudevi's face and said to her, I don't want you in Fiji, I want you traveling the world and preaching. Just like that. Well, that doesn't leave us with a choice. He was giving a very strong, pointed, directed order. So we kind of like, well, we have no qualification, but we have to try to follow. So we just wrote to all of the devotees, Gurudev ordered this, we have no qualification. Will you be willing to host us for doing kirtan programs? And the devotees wrote in, yeah. And we said, we require a little help because we don't have any income or anything. Will you be able to help us? Sure, where do we send it? And then from that, we had a round-the-world tour and continued from that time.
It was help for the tickets, not just...
For the tickets, yes. So the round-the-world tickets, we required some monetary help toward that, and the devotees all sponsored it. And then we were able to go. But Gurudev gave that strong order. So here, he's saying that Mahaprabhu disregarded the injunctions of scripture, but for what? For the service of Govinda. So when someone leaves in this way, it is called kriya lopa. According to the injunctions, first one should be a brahmachari, then a grihastha, and then vanaprastha, and finally a sannyasi. But some go straight from brahmachari to sannyas. I believe we spoke about this yesterday, without following grihastha dharma. So the debt to their forefathers is upon them. However, there will be no necessity of atonement for this if one has left to take up the bhajan of Mukunda. But it is said that those who have resorted to Kriyalopa for some purpose other than engaging in Bhagavad Bhajan must appoint 3 million brahmanas to perform ceremonies for their atonement. So if one is just giving up their worldly dharmas, but not for the purpose of serving Krishna, then they're in a bad way. So if one rejects that, does not pay the debts to their forefathers, the demigods, the jivas, and their family members, and everyone else, even their karmic debts, for sense gratification, or any other purpose other than serving Krishna, then here, one must appoint 3 million brahmanas to perform ceremonies for their atonement. The kind of brahmanas with long beards and their hair tied high on their heads, who live only on milk. Day and night they will be chanting Om Swaha, doing the fire yajnas. Those who need atonement must appoint them. And if they don't follow this process of atonement, Bhagavan will punish them. So there are actually very severe reactions which come to those who don't follow properly, who don't take to the path of bhakti but are breaking their worldly obligations. Means their dharmas in this world. If one breaks their dharma but does not take to the path of bhakti, if they don't break their dharma for Krishna, if they don't break their debts for Krishna, but just break it for any other purpose, mundane purpose, then they become severely indebted and they require prayashchita, or severe atonement. Let me just finish this. It's 2 more words. So Bhagavan will punish them. But for devotees who have left their worldly responsibilities to take up bhajan, this atonement is not necessary.
Can I just end the class with two quick things from Gurudev?
Yes.
So one is when my grandmother died. I know we've told this before, but I went to Gurudev and I said, Gurudev, my grandmother, she died. What should I do? What kind of ceremonies? What do I do? And Gurudev just smiled at me and he said, oh, grandmother's daughter is devotee. So that's my mother. And I said, yes, Gurudev. And he said, and grandmother's daughter's daughter, also a devotee. So I was thinking my sister, yeah. And he said, and grandmother's daughter's daughter's daughter, also a devotee. And I said, yes. Then Gurudev just sat back and he said, what more? What more can you do? All in her lineage are chanting the holy names, coming in the line of Rupa Goswami, chanting Gauranga, Gauranga. He said, what more can you do? And then one time, we were staying at my mother's house, and my mom is, never had any money. Devotees, a lot of times, especially when they came as teenagers, they didn't have a lot of money after. So once we were at her house, while we were on tour, we stopped there, and my mom couldn't pay her bills. But we had donation money that was supposed to go for our flights, so we had thousands of dollars on us. And I was feeling, I have all this money sitting here, and I can't help my mother. And I felt really guilty and bad, like what kind of a daughter am I? So it just so happened that Gurudev was in Badger, New Brudge, California. And myself, my mother, and my sister all walked into Gurudev's room. And I had never spoken what was in my heart, but Gurudev looked at all of us, and he looked at my mom and smiled, and then he pointed to me. And he said, she cannot help you. She is like a sannyasi. And then he looked at my sister and said, you should help your mother. And in a moment, it took all of that weight, that debt, that stress away from me. And at the same time, my sister, if she ever helps my mother, it means that she is doing service, because Gurudev said, you should help your mother. So now she thought, oh, I have seva now. I have children, I have a job, I have a house, a husband. Gurudev never told me to do anything. But now Gurudev said, you should help your mother. So she sees, oh, Gurudev gave me seva. So in this way, Gurudev removes all of these debts from us if we try to stay under guidance and continue trying to chant the holy names and do proper sadhana and enter into bhajan.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanul Guru Varga ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय। राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। राधा रमण जी की जय। गिरिराज महाराज की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। गोविंद नाम धर्माधरे गोविंद नाम the opportunity to remember the beautiful instructions, the teachings of our Gurudeva and Guru Varga, and also to remember so many beautiful interactions with our Gurudeva and other Vaishnavas. So thank you for that. And also, we are expressing our deepest appreciation and indebtedness that you are engaging us in our Guru Seva. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you so much, Lavanga, for taking the seva of Jiva Pavana Prabhu today.
Radha Vinobihari Ji ki
Jai.
jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki
Jai.
jai.
Dandavat Pranam.